Okay, it's a few minutes after 1, so I'll go ahead and get started. My name is Ashton Troxel, and I am a Senior Intercultural Programs Advisor in the Center for Global and Intercultural Study. So if you are new to Michigan, there's a lot of acronyms here. We also go by CGIS. So this webinar is geared towards parents and guardians, but there's still helpful information for students and how to get started in looking at intercultural programming. So what is CGIS? As I said, we're the Center for Global and Intercultural Study. My office is located in Weiser Hall, and we mainly cater to students in the College of Literature, Science, and the Arts. Students at U of M are eligible to study abroad on our programs, but if you're not in LSA, there are other international offices on campus that may have more programming suited to your major or interests. And some of them are listed on the right-hand side of the screen here, but there certainly are more if you don't see your college on there. So at CGIS, we have over 140 programs. We're always adding new programs to our portfolio based on student need and interest. So it's something that can change year to year. We do have programs in English, so students do not have to speak the local language to study abroad. One important thing to note is students can go abroad as early as their first summer here on campus. Those applications would open in October, and we have a study abroad fair, which I'll talk about at the very end. So students can start planning pretty early. So in terms of the benefits of study abroad, we focus on the academics a lot. Students can earn credit towards their degree, so they don't have to spend an extra semester on campus because they studied abroad. Students can go abroad for short periods in the summer or for a full semester academic year. So it really depends on what your interests are, what kind of program is the best fit. Professionally, students are going to be gaining a lot of intercultural skills, becoming comfortable with ambiguity, working across cultures to solve problems. So these are attributes that all employers are looking for. So students can definitely add the experience to their resume, talk about it in interviews, etc. And most importantly, the personal growth that happens in study abroad is really exponential. Students continue to learn and grow from their experience even after they return, home to Michigan. So in terms of health and safety, this has been a really important question, especially during the pandemic. Our office has a dedicated team of health and safety folks. So when we add programs into our portfolio, we vet them, make sure they meet our standards. We do pre-departure health and safety orientations. We help students plan if they need to take medications abroad, or if they need to continue care, whether that's therapy or they need allergy shots. We walk students through that process and get them set up. U of M also has an international travel oversight committee who monitors health and safety concerns all around the world. And in terms of insurance, all students who go abroad on any U of M sponsored program, whether that's in CGIS or in Ross or engineering, they'll be enrolled in our comprehensive international insurance plan, which is Geo Blue. So there's no deductible and there's no copay. And there's a lot of clinics, hospitals that are enrolled to accept the insurance. If a student has to go to a facility that doesn't accept it, they simply submit a receipt and get reimbursed. So students who have any questions before they go abroad or while they're abroad, our office is here to support them. So when they're planning their study abroad, I always like to tell first years to start planning early. Have this discussion with your academic advisor, saying, I want to study abroad for a full semester. How can I plan it? Because one of the big components is the credit towards a student's degree. So if you're in LSA, you have to get distribution, which is also known as like general credit, plus your major requirement. So if some students save a couple of those distribution credits like humanities and social sciences, they're going to have a lot more choices once they become sophomores and juniors in terms of a full semester study abroad. So that credit is important. Also the location. So depending on a student's goals, whether they want to integrate with the host community, learn the language, they want a cheaper cost of living, that's all going to impact the location. And another important aspect is the accommodation. So whether students live with a host family, in an apartment with other students, whether they find their own house, trying to go into the perfect program. Some other things we talk about with students is their personal identity and what that's going to look like abroad and be received in their host country, as well as the duration of the program. So some students, like student athletes, can only go abroad in the summer. So these are all aspects of program planning that we talk about when we advise students. And if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A. I'll try to answer them as I go, or otherwise I'll save them to the end. So here's an example of different types of CGIS programming. Some of these, the first four listed are spring, summer. So Global Course Connections, also known as GCC, are a special CGIS program where students take a class in the winter term. So from January to May on campus, and a small cohort of those students will go abroad in the spring, summer. So in May, June, or July for 3 to 4 weeks with that faculty member and extend their learning beyond the classroom here at Ann Arbor. These change every year. So if your student is interested in a GCC, definitely apply the year it's offered. This summer, we had Literary Monsters in London, which was a and literature course. And we also had a group go to Rome and talk about the psychology of politics. So yeah, very focused and interesting options there. Then we also have GIEU, which stands for Global Intercultural Experience for undergraduates. This is a short-term program in the spring, summer term where students do a project-based service learning alongside a local community. So for 2023, we're offering programs in Thailand and Brazil. And then we also have language requirement programs. So for Italian, Spanish, and French, students can take their 3rd and 4th semester abroad. And for French and Spanish, they can take their 4th semester. So if you're in LSA, students have to have 4 semesters of a foreign language as part of their degree plan. So keep that in mind. We also have other programs in the spring, summer, open to students with different disciplines. And then last but not least, semester and academic year programming. We have programs all over the world. Some of them are very focused on topic like environment, sustainability, but others are more general where students can enroll in a local university and have access to all classes there. So in terms of financial aid and scholarships, students can use their financial aid packages for study abroad experiences. The amount depends on each student's unique situation. So if finances are an important factor, they can meet with one of us in CGIS and we can walk them through the process. We work really closely with financial aid and the LSA Scholarship Office. So there's a lot of planning that can go into it, such as the estimate worksheet. Students can use a budget sheet, fill out the estimate worksheet, and get an idea of how their aid will cover their program abroad. And that's really important if the program abroad is more expensive or less expensive than the experience here on campus. And for students in LSA who have a declared major in LSA and they receive needs-based funding, they can apply to the study abroad scholarship. which is a great opportunity for students. So in terms of credit, as I mentioned, when students go on a CGIS program, they're going to be earning credits towards their degree. So students will earn LSA in residence credit. So if an engineering student goes on our program, they'll have to talk to their engineering advisors on how that will transfer over to that college. But our students at LSA, their grades appear on their transcript and it factors into their GPA. As I said, the courses count towards the degree. So if students want to fulfill certain requirements, let's say they're a communications and media major and they want to take a couple of courses abroad, they'll work with their department advisor to get those courses pre-approved before they go abroad. So it does require some planning, but everything will be counted towards the degree and we're required to transcript everything. So in terms of next steps, all international opportunities are listed in this database called Encompass. So that's where all the applications are. That's where all the really good details about the program. So like how to apply, links to the academics, the syllabi, the finances, the dates are all on Encompass. So students can either search there or they can go to the CGIS website. We have our programs broken up by region and by major. So these top two on the right-hand screen are screen grabs from the CGIS website. It's a little bit more bite-sized to look at the CGIS website than Encompass, because like I mentioned, Encompass houses all programming. But if you're in engineering, Ross, etc., you may want to go to Encompass and look for programs there. So CGIS, we encourage students to communicate with us directly and then pass along information to their parents. We give a lot of information to students via email or pre-departure orientation. So I encourage them to, look through all the information that we give them to share. Students can also reach out to us at any time. As I mentioned, we're located in Weiser Hall on the second floor. And we'll also have peer advisors who have gone on programs this last year, open to talk to students as well. So one more thing before I wrap up is the CGIS Study Abroad Fair. Host every year in October. We're really looking forward to bringing it back in person this year. It is Tuesday, October 11th. In the Rogel Ballroom of Michigan Union. So please share this with your students, because this is a really great way to learn about all the programs, talk to returning students, and our other partners will be there as well. So to wrap up, I have time for questions, thoughts, if you have any.